The Taliban moves towards diplomatic acceptance in parts of the Middle East. In the UK, an Afghan girls' community football team is leading the way in social cohesion. And a local politician is shot in Germany, just miles from where a police officer was stabbed to death in anti-Islamic riots. The leader of the United Arab Emirates has met with an official in the Taliban government still wanted by the United States and who has a multi-million-pound reward on his head. It's alleged he was involved in an attack that killed an American citizen. The meeting highlights the growing international divide on how to deal with the Taliban, who seized control of Afghanistan in 2021 and have since banned girls from attending secondary schools and placed severe restrictions on women. While the West still doesn't recognise the Taliban as Kabul's government, nations in the Middle East and elsewhere have reached out to them. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the ruler of Abu Dhabi, met Sirajuddin Haqqani in the Emirati capital, the state-run WAM news agency reported earlier on this week. It detailed the meeting between Sheikh Mohammed and Haqqani, the Taliban's interior minister. Haqqani also heads up the Haqqani Network, a powerful group with the faction blamed for some of the worst attacks against Afghanistan's former Western-backed government. According to WAM, the two sides discussed strengthening the bonds of cooperation and ways to enhance ties to serve mutual interests and to contribute to regional stability. The discussions focused on economic development as well as support for reconstruction in Afghanistan. The Kazakh government has also agreed to lift the Taliban off its list of international terrorists, a further sign of potential growing acceptance of the regime by several countries. Meanwhile, Afghan women in the United Kingdom are continuing their drive for success in community football. An increasingly important part of social cohesion, it comes at a time when clearly the Taliban shows no sign of lifting its ban on the education of girls at secondary schools. Local girls side Gorband FC won its match against Actonian FC at Hayes Goals in West London 6-0. In a show of commitment and skill that is a tribute to the support of Qadri Saidi, who manages the team on behalf of the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association. The squad was set up in 2021 with a donation from Comic Relief and has continued to be a beacon for Afghan girls and an inspiration to the international diaspora.
The Ghorban and Balkh football teams set up to support the integration, participation and community cohesion of the new arrived refugees from Afghanistan and the wider community to improve their confidence as well as understanding about the multicultural society in the United Kingdom. And this is our ambition, this is our aims, to help the most vulnerable people in our society who are very isolated, very disadvantaged and very deprived.
Young women whose families escaped the brutal regime of the Taliban have seized the opportunity to excel at the sport, which they regard as an essential part of integrating into the UK. The squad is now at full strength with 30 young players who train and play throughout the soccer season. Tensions remain high in Germany after a candidate for the far-right Alternative für Deutschland party was attacked in the southwestern city of Mannheim, less than a week after a police officer was killed in a knife attack in the city. The attack left the politician with non-life-threatening injuries for which he was treated in hospital. While officials have not yet confirmed the victim's identity, party members identified him as Heinrich Koch, the party's local council candidate. Police have appealed for calm and have not yet directly linked the two incidents. The latest incident reportedly occurred 5 miles from the market square, where the 29-year-old police officer was repeatedly stabbed during an anti-Islamic rally. 5 other people taking part in a rally organised by Pax Europa, a campaign group against radical Islam, were wounded in the attack. The motive of the 25-year-old perpetrator, who was born in Afghanistan, remains unclear. He underwent surgery after sustaining gunshot wounds during his capture. The movement's treasurer, Stephanie Kazina, said the attack was aimed at Pax Europa board member Michael Sturzenberger, who sustained serious injuries.